出会いが別れの時だ。
Come around this way, you will get caught.
In today's video, it's time for a gold rush, as I present to you a Gold Ranger double feature. Since the last Sentai video we've covered was quite literally almost a year ago, I've decided to bless y'all with a cool double feature which will serve as a prequel for another video I have planned a few months from now. So you know what to do, hit the like and subscribe button and let's get started. Meet Canelo, a member of the low-numbered Ryuso tribe of the sea. He's on the surface looking for a bride for the sake of repopulating said tribe, which officially makes him hilarious and my favorite character of the team. Together with his sister Oto, they were raised by the Kishi Ryu of the sea, Mosarex, who has major beef with his land cousins due to a violent-ass civil war that occurred both a long-ass time ago and after they defeated the original kaijin of the series. These old war wounds, both physically and metaphorically, shape the way Mosarex views the surface, and as a result, shapes the way his foster children do as well. But Canelo is different, not just in terms of ideas, but with his gear as well, and this is shown no better than in his debut episode.
Flashback.
Now, for context, prior to Canelo showing up looking for a boo thing, the Core 5 has been ruining the plans of the Druidon's greatest showman, Weisel. Because of all of the consecutive L's, Gotchulus, look, y'all know what I'm about to do. His name Greg now. So Greg shows up with all the swagger of a One Piece admiral and makes his first appearance with at least 3 episodes worth of plans to pack up the Ryuso tribe. His first one involves creating a Minosaur with water and sound powers so ferocious that the Core 5 struggle to keep up. Even with the power of the Meta Soul, it isn't enough to completely defeat this creature outright, and this feat manages to get Greg to start doubting their skills. Also, the team is aware of Canelo, but he's very nonchalant with them. He, on the other hand, is looking for a boo thing, and when he finally feels like he's got one on lock, it's revealed that she's not only taken, but her overworked boyfriend is also the host of the Minosaur that's currently giving the land tribe belt to ass. So for her sake, and not to save them, he pops out to call ISO on the Minosaur.
You so good.
Boy! He got that shit on though.
This ain't the first time he's transformed in this episode, as he transforms in the beginning to one-shot the Basilisk Minosaur, but this debut speaks volumes on his abilities and allows the land tribe to see what he can really do. That boy is good. By simply upping the blick, he's able to do what none of the land Ryu soldiers have and actually hurt this kaijin. Greg sends out Joppers, prepared to not give Canelo the faith of a one-on-one, but this matters none, as Gold summons his Mosa Blade and gets the reverse jump.
But wait, there's more.
The greatness, the awesome sauce, the crest of ingenuity, the vertex of imagination, the epic of epics, the legend among legends.
He starts putting on a tremendous display of minion busting until he feels the need to kick it up a notch.
How do you do that? How do you do that? What the hell is going on?
Oh, he for sure got that shit on, and when he attacks again, he completely blitzes them until the Minosaur moves in to attack with the water barrier. But
It was at this moment that he knew. He fucked up.
realizing that getting packed up is imminent, the Minosaur charges up for a final attack, while Ryuso Gold charges up for one as well, preparing for the cliche beam clash. And I don't know if this Minosaur knows about Pokemon or type advantages, but it doesn't go well for him. And at the end of it all, Canelo gets one of the best aura farming moments in Sentai history.
Love is over.
Ryuso Gold, aka Canelo, is once again my favorite member of the Ryu Soldiers, and his 3-episode introduction arc is a great example of writing a Six Rangers debut and integration arc to the team. In the mind of Lambo Calrissian, a good Six Ranger is as cool and as capable as that series' Red Ranger, replacing him in stature should he not be there for whatever reason. Extra Ranger debuts give us a clear idea of how cool or strong they are until the show's eventual power creep kicks in on them. Him having his own Choryuso, the BDBD soul, puts him on the standard that the other Ryu soldiers are on, and the fact that he's cool enough to later earn Shadow Raptor's respect, subsequently being the first person to use its Choryu soul powers, proves that his weight and importance is felt in the series. I also believe that good Six or Extra Rangers also help expand lore and progress the story forward, and as far as I'm concerned and have seen, Canelo does this in spades. His aura farming appearances not only reveal more about Ryuso history, but how much they integrate themselves into human history and civilization as well. Again, him earning Shadow Raptor's power is a good example of story progression, but the best example in my opinion of how they expand the lore is that the Sea Tribe effectively started the Hiroshima Taro folktale, one of the most important Japanese folktales of all time. I think the last thing to touch on is Canelo's introduction arc and how well it establishes him as a member of the team. The Sea Tribe siblings genuinely have no beef with the Land Tribe members, and honestly, they low-key want to hang out with them simply because they're a vibe, but the past trauma of Mosa Rex keeps them hesitant in doing so. After all, Mosa Rex pretty much raised them their entire lives, so that's the closest thing to a father that they have, and his words mean something to them. Mosa Rex is eventually challenged by his son's ideas, as his depictions of the Land Tribe doesn't match what he's witnessed, and according to Mosa Rex, the Land Tribe is supposed to behave no differently than how Omni-Man did in season 1 of Invincible, packing up the monsters so that they can take over the Earth with no obstacle.
You don't seem to understand. Earth isn't yours to conquer.
However, Canelo only sees a handful of knights willing to go above and beyond to protect the Earth and the people who inhabit it. Their hope for peace is infectious, and Canelo soon finds himself moved by this, becoming their spokesperson to Mosa Rex. The part that wins over his Kishiryu daddy is when Canelo mentions that him hearing them say that they're fighting for peace made him feel hope for the future for the first time. And this infectious hope rekindles Mosa Rex's hateful heart, and soon enough, Ryuso Gold becomes an official member of the team, and even Mosa Rex is rewarded for this trust by reuniting with his brother Daime Volcano. I think it's Dime Volcano. Either way, you know who I'm talking about, dog. And finally, in terms of aesthetics, he fits perfectly with the gang, and his arsenal both complements the team while allowing him to do his own thing, because he's the only one in the group that doesn't have a sword. Well, a long sword. Anyway, Canelo is a G, and this exhibit is most likely the start of me covering more Ryu soldier glazing in the future. But it's now time for me to shed some light on our second and final exhibit. Hey, I'm convinced if your name is Genta, ain't nowhere you ain't to go. I'm sorry. Meet Genta Umemori, the owner of Gold Sushi and by far the goofiest character I've met in Shinken. 10 years prior to the series, he used to live down the way to Takeru, and as a result, the two became the cliche childhood friends. Genta would actively pop up during Takeru's training to bother him with food, and then the two became so close that Genta was gifted the Ika origami the night he had to move, and he promised that the two would fight together as samurai when he got older. Cut to the present day, 2009, and he shows up to town with his sushi cart in tow, during an episode where a Tengu-themed Ayakashi attack involves Takeru getting scryed on. Just look up 5th edition scry, you'll know what it means. Though he's able to break the spell, the Ayakashi is able to give the entire team belt to ass via Uno Reverse, and Genta arrives on the scene to prevent the Ayakashi from getting a full TPK. For 4/5 of the group, He's just a crazy ass sushi guy who shot an arrow into the Shiba house. So for him being there, this seems like a very, very dumb idea. But when he flips out that sushi changer and then proceeds to put that shit on, they get quiet.
Who the fuck is this nigga, bro?
Everyone is shocked, considering that the sushi man has not only got that shit on, but Buddy is referring to himself as Shinken Gold, the 6th Shinkenja, and nobody's ever heard of a 6th member before. Regardless, Shinken Gold calls ISO on the Ayakashi, but when the Ayakashi summons minions doubting our boy's skills, our Gold Ranger had to show out. Using the most obscure version of EI I've seen since reading Kagurabachi, Gold slices and dices all of the minions before him with ease. So much so that Takeo had to give us and his retainers the cliche anime breakdown of his fighting style. The jobber busting continues in the woods, and Shinken Gold meets every attack from them with an even faster and stronger one.
Damn! That shit good!
Despite him being so strong, he's still definitely wacky as hell, missing QTEs and landing on his ass, but this does not take away from his final score and how goated he really is. Finally, it's ISO time with the Tengu, and though the two were swapping hands, Takeru saw fit to jump in for a quick Type B assist. Wasting no time, Shinken Gold proceeds to wrap this shit up, inputting his critical edge and dropping 3 meters of pack watch in Ayakashi ass.
But wait, there's more.
As per usual in Super Sentai, the fight gets big, and when Shinken Gold summons the Ika Origami, Takeru realizes Shinken Gold's identity, to which Genta is excited to hear. This results in one of the shortest team integration arcs in the entire Sentai franchise, but it's offset on how important Genta's character is as an additional member, and how good his character is for the story. Because I don't know about you, but until Genta shows up in the show, Shinkenger kind of feels like serious. Not like adult serious, but like Young Justice serious. Genta, being goofy as he is, brings a much needed levity into the show. His wacky nature doesn't take away from his skills and strength, but it makes the show feel a lot more lighthearted. See what I did there? The best way to describe or explain this is to look at later in the show. In the next episode, he reveals that his cell phone sushi-themed changer was made with limited knowledge on Mojikata and the origami that he had, the Ika origami. This changer also led him to create Digital Mojikata, a new, more powerful branch of the Shinkenger's power system, and the creation of both the Ebi origami and later the more impressive Daigoyo, all while both of them are compatible with the Core 5's already existing gear. He also truly displays a samurai strength in that same episode by dealing with the Monster of the Week alongside Shinken Red, solidifying his power to the team. Case in point,
This is real shonen, y'all. I don't think y'all understand what I'm saying.
and if you want me to really glaze him even more, he swapped hands with Juzo in the movie. In addition, just like Canelo, his aesthetics and arsenal both complement the team while allowing him to do his own thing. The Sakanamaru not only works with Genta's sushi theme and unorthodox EI style, but it's also really fun to say and matches the Core 5's Shinkenmaru in terms of alliteration. Say it with me now. Sakanamaru, Sakanamaru, Sakanamaru. My bad. Anyway. Daigoyo's appearance and usage gives Shinken Gold a new powerful weapon, but also doubles as a way for him to keep up with the Super Shinken mode the Core 5 can use. I know he can use the Hyper Shinken mode, but that's really only in a Hyper Battle DVD. Now that I think about it, the Samurai of Light making a lantern originally to help light the way for his team, only for it to turn into a device to make his light shine brighter, is fucking genius. Finally, the last thing to glaze Genta about is his character. Other than being a sushi chef, Genta's entire being, his whole reason for coming back to be a samurai for Takeru, is because of a promise. Genta genuinely loves Takeru. Hell, they're borderline brothers based on their backstory, but the Shiba clan's rules prevent Takeru from having a normal life with his friend. Rather than forgetting about him when he moved, Genta dedicated 10 years of his life to not only take over his father's sushi business, but to train in both swordsplay and mochi kata. The blood, sweat, and tears he shedded both training to be a Shinkenger and will shed during his tenure as the 6th Ranger is all for the sake of his friend. The other retainers may be there because of duty, but Genta is there by choice. His love and appreciation and friendship is so important to him that he's willing to join his friend's family life-threatening affairs all for the sake of maintaining it. This dude literally freaked an entire power system just to hang out with his homie and save the world.
That's what I'm talking about! That's why he's the MVP! That's why he's the GOAT! The GOAT!
You know what? I don't even care if you turn into an evil Kamen Rider later on in life. You my nigga. But yeah, man, that's the video. Once again, this is only a prequel to another video I got later on down the road, so I really appreciate y'all watching this video today. And if you can get this video to 1,700 likes, then I know for a fact y'all want me to expedite that video coming up. As always, ways to support the channel are in the description. If you like buying toys, please do so through Hobby Links Japan via my affiliate link, so that way when you buy toys, you're supporting the channel. And I know some of y'all attacking me right now because there's a couple Gold Rangers I didn't mention. You know they gonna be somewhere later, so you know, don't trip. Just like, comment, subscribe, and give me $5. Do that.